Now, a United Nations special rapporteur has wrapped up a 6-day visit to Turkey, where he's been investigating human rights abuse allegations against the government. Niels Meltzer visited police stations and prisons to assess claims of mistreatment following the July 15th coup attempt. It follows several international NGOs voicing concerns about the alleged torture of detainees. Well, Turkey denies the allegations and invited the UN to assess them. Now, Meltzer will present his findings and recommendations to the Human Rights Council early next year.
Testimonies received from inmates and their lawyers suggest that in the days and weeks following the failed coup, torture and other forms of ill treatment were widespread, particularly at the time of the arrest by police and gendarmerie officials. Many of my interlocutors reported that law enforcement officials felt free to harass, intimidate, and insult anyone perceived as opposing the government or its authority in all impunity. After this initial phase marked by arbitrariness, however, the ill treatment appears to have ceased. Apart from occasional verbal threats, my team received no allegations and collected no evidence of currently ongoing torture or ill treatment with respect to those inmates, male or female, who were arrested for reasons related to the attempted coup.
Let's cross live now to Hasan Abdullah, who was at that UN news conference in Ankara. Hi, Hasan. The report won't be finalized actually until March, but tell us more about what the investigations sound. Will it please the Turkish government to hear?
Well, Andrea, the full report will be presented to the United Nations in March 2018. But today, the UN Special Rapporteur made it clear. He said that he wanted to thank the Turkish government for providing him unrestricted access. He said that he was allowed to visit any place he wanted to and was able to speak to anyone he wanted to. At the same time, he said that it was clear that Turkey had a policy of zero tolerance towards torture, but he said that there was a disconnect between policy and reality. Now, he also expressed concerns about the state of emergency, and he said that people were under the emergency laws were detained for up to 30 days without a judicial review. That was a cause of concern. But having said that, he also said that the Turkish constitution was very clear and that judicial safeguards were in place. He also said that there had been a climate of intimidation and distrust, and also added that he had spoken to many doctors, human rights activists, diplomats and others, and they had received various allegations of people who had been manhandled. He commented on the detention centers. He said that the facilities were adequate, but the police stations where some people were being kept, they were not appropriate for such detentions. Now, he was asked about the statistics on the allegations, and he said that he did not have any statistics at the moment, and that he was waiting for more details on this.
Can you tell us whether or not there's any indication that this will actually satisfy the critics now, the human rights groups and the NGOs that raised their many concerns?
Well, he started off his press conference by saying that he had unrestricted access. So, of course, that should help remove any concerns people may have had or harbored that any committee may not have free access. He said that he was able to speak to anyone. He spoke to people in Ankara, in the southeast of Turkey, and in many other parts of the country. So I think that should be quite clear. And he said that he was obviously critical in some regards. He also said that the government should take note of that. And I've spoken to some government officials in the Interior Ministry as well and obtained a response to that as well.
And what was that response?
Well, Andrea, they're saying that there is no evidence of any systematic torture. However, if there are any individual cases, then they would like to investigate those cases. And also one of the Interior Ministry officials, he's a senior official at the Interior Ministry, he said that there have been cases where people who were being held in detention had been beaten up by the people who had caught them during the coup attempt. So he's saying that it's quite important that any distinction is made.
Okay, Hasan Abdullah, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for that, as always, from Ankara.